So this is our lecture for Statement of Changes in Equity for FABM Part 2. So good afternoon everyone. Welcome back. This is our lecture. So yes, we have already finished the discussion on the two of the set of financial statements. So napag-usapan na natin si balance sheet or the statement of financial position, and napag-usapan na rin natin si statement of comprehensive income or commonly known as our income statement. Now, for this lecture, we are going to discuss the statement of changes in equity. Okay, so ito yung next part natin. So, ano ba ito yung nangyayari dito? Okay, now, we all know that the financial statements are interconnected. Okay, the net income or loss of the company is shown in the statement of comprehensive income. Tapos nun, once you're done with the statement of comprehensive income, you prepare the statement of changes in equity. And then we prepare the balance sheet. Then after ng discussion natin dito, for this lecture, ang susunod na discussion naman natin will be for the statement of cash flow. So for now, we are going to concentrate dito sa ating statement of changes in equity. Okay? So, syempre meron naman din tayong discussion. Na-discuss na rin natin yung balance sheet. Nauna natin siyang i-discuss because of some points para ma-compare natin siya. Kung ano yung effect naman dun ng ibang balance sheet items sa punta kay income statement. So, our objectives for this lecture is for you to be able to enumerate and understand the purpose of the statement of changes in equity. Okay? Ang kasunod naman yan is for you to be able to prepare the statement of changes in equity. Now, take a look for each form of business organization. We are not going to only talk about presentation of the statement of changes in equity for sole proprietorship. Idadagdag natin si partnership saka si corporation. And then we're going to go on how to present the statement of changes in equity for each form of business organization. Okay? So, what is the purpose of the statement of changes in equity? Well, syempre, ando na tayo eh. First financial statements natin, we provided the users with the company's financial position. Pero during that time, we only concentrated on talking about the assets and the liabilities of the company. Okay? Now, nung inaaral natin yung FABM Part 1, we are only talking about the changes in equity for a sole proprietor. And most of the time, yes, pinipresent natin siya separately. Tapos, the end product or the end balance is shown in our balance sheet. Okay? Kasi nga, asset is equal to liabilities plus owner's equity. For dito sa lecture na to, ang tututukan naman natin, di ba, is yung how we are going to show the users ano ba yung naging changes sa owner's equity for the entire period. Pwedeng 1 month, pwedeng 1 year. Syempre, babalikan natin yung periodicity. Kaya nga, ang statement natin, pag nakita natin mamaya sa headings, is dated for the period. Which means we are going to talk about the changes for the entire period. From the beginning of the period up until the end of the period. Okay? So, let's move forward. Now, balikan muna natin. Let's have a review of the different types of business organization according to how it is organized. First, the simplest one, which is the sole proprietorship, where we only have one owner. Okay? The business has no legal personality separate from its owner. So, yun yung pinaka-basic characteristics yan. And then, the claim of the creditors to the business may extend to the personal asset of the owner. That was fully discussed during the time na nag-start tayo ng accounting for sole proprietorship. Okay? Now, for partnership naman, syempre, kailangan at least 2. Okay? So, kailangan 2 or more persons, which are called partners, they agree to have a partnership for legal purposes, diba? For business purposes. Now, these are legal these are legal personalities separate from the owners. Okay? Nire-register din siya. Now, sole proprietorships are registered with the Department of Trade and Industry, the DTI. For partnership and and for a corporation, they are registered under the Securities and Exchange Commission. Okay? Tapos, syempre, andyan yung ibang description pa niya. Now, for a corporation naman, well, sabi niya, it's a most complex of the business organization. Okay? Kasi nga, because of the number of owners. Okay? We cannot do away with that. Syempre, it's a little bit complex. Pero, same pa lang din naman take note na, for all of these business organizations, makikita nyo naman na pare-pareho lang din yung accounting procedures nila. Okay? Same accounting procedures for service business, a merchandising business, a manufacturing business. However, there is a different accounting for their owner's equity. Depende yan kung anong organization ang pinag-uusapan natin. We are already familiar with the sole proprietorship, di ba? Meron tayong owner's equity, which is the owner's investment. Doon natin siya pinapasok. The owner's drawings. Diba? Tapos remember, yung revenues and expenses are also part of your equity. Kaya lang, hiwalay natin siya pinapakita. We show that on our statement of comprehensive income. Okay? Now, we go on dun sa preparation ng statement of changes in equity. Okay, for a sole proprietorship class, kahit mapapansin ninyo, you will always know because you are only going to present one capital account. Okay, one capital account because there is only one owner. So, pag titingnan natin siya, if you look at the trial balance, okay, mapakikita nyo na, yes, there is only one capital account for Rain Zuniga, for sa example na to. And then, for Rain Zuniga drawings. Okay, now, yan yung makikita natin sa ating worksheet. Okay, or dun sa ating adjusted trial balance. Now, when we look further na, okay, when we present the statement of changes in equity, you have to remember that you have to write the name of the company. You have to write what type of financial statement we are reporting. Sa case na to, we are reporting for the statement of changes in equity. And now, we also have to make sure the period that we are reporting for. So sa case na to, since we're reporting for the statement of changes in equity, we are going to tell the users that this is for the year ending December 31, 2019, if that is the case. Okay, now this is for the year ending. Now, don't be surprised if makikita mo dito sa iyong trial balance, the capital account and the drawings account is not the same. Okay? It's not the same for the statement of changes in equity. Now, paano ba natin makikita bakit may difference yan, Sir Ronald? Well, look, 'di ba? First, balikan muna natin ito. For a sole proprietorship, capital contributions are recorded in the owner's equity. Capital contribution meaning the owner's investment. It may be in cash or in kind. Now, drawings are recorded in the owner's equity. Now, income and losses are also charged to owner's equity. So, dito natin siya ipapakita. Tatandaan yung inyong closing entries when we are closing the nominal accounts to the equity account. So, that's very important ha. Huwag kakalimutan yung part na yon. Okay? Now, ito na nga yung sinasabi natin earlier. You have to look at the general ledger or your T accounts, okay, general ledger, so that you will know how much was the beginning. Okay? So, the beginning balance is the January 1 balance. So, kung December 31 ito, January 1 yung beginning balance mo. So, you write the beginning balance, you add the investments of the owners during the year, you add the net income for the period. In case if it's a net loss, syempre ibabawas mo siya. Okay? So, isama mo na siya dito sa less para mas madali yung formula mo. Now, withdrawals, you also have to show that separately so that the users will know magkano ba yung pinasok ni owner na contribution sa company. Magkano ba yung income nung company natin for the period. And then how much was the withdrawal. Now, the last part, okay, kung makikita nyo, ito ngayon yung inyong magiging capital ending, which is your ending balance na ipapakita sa inyong general ledger after all the closing entries have been posted. Tatandaan yun, huwag kakalimutan ha, kailangan lahat ng closing entries natin are posted to the general ledger. Then we just have to show them the details kung ano ba yung nangyari. Okay, now, the statement of changes in equity, okay, the balance or the capital balance ending will now be shown as part of our liabilities in owner's equity. Now, this is the excerpt coming from your balance sheet. Yun yung ginagamit natin from the very start of our discussion. Kung makikita nyo na, the same amount is shown here. Okay, para mapakita natin yung total liabilities and owner's equity. And we have to make sure that the amount of total liabilities and owner's equity is equal to the amount of your assets that is being shown in your balance sheet. Okay, so it's fairly simple lang na presenting a statement of changes in equity for a sole proprietorship. Kailangan mo lang isulat yung name of the company. You have to inform the users what statement you are showing them. In this case, the statement of changes in equity. Also, you have to inform them that for what period this is for. Now, that is very important. Now, dun sa example natin for Jollibee Food Corporation, diba, pinakita dun, meron kang that is a comparative financial statement. So, if it's a comparative financial statement, then you show them the year. Okay, lalagay mo sa header dito. Now, sa case natin, we are only reporting for 1 year. Therefore, ang nakalagay lang natin dito will be the capital beginning for 2019. Okay? So, yan yung papakita natin sa financial statement natin. Okay? Tapos, syempre, you have to make sure na balance yung information natin. Now, since we're done with the sole proprietorship, we are going to discuss the statement of changes in equity for a partnership. Okay? A partnership is owned by 2 or more individuals called partners. Okay? So, because there are more than one owner of the business, the owner's equity account will be more than one. Okay? So, sa example natin, sa baba, diba, if Ariel Miranda, Aris Miranda, and Albert Miranda decided to form a partnership, so tatlo sila, you will also have 3 capital accounts for each one of the partner and 3 drawing accounts for each one of the partners. So, yun yung makikita natin. Okay? Now, paano naman yan nangyayari dyan? So, same pa din na. Okay, how do you report? Partner's contribution or for a partnership, yung capital contribution niya will be for the partner's equity. So, for example, going back dun sa pinag-uusapan natin earlier, kung nag-invest si Ariel, so, meron kang increase kay Ariel Miranda Capital. Kung merong investment si Ari, so, same thing. You have to record the investment. Kung may drawings naman si Albert, si Ari, so same din, gagawin mo ng journal entry using their capital accounts. Okay? So, yun yung mangyayari. So, partner's equity ang pupuntahan, partner's drawings pagka may withdrawal from the business. Now, for income accumulation, the closing entries will close the nominal accounts to your partner's equity. Okay? Now, ano ba yung critical dito pag pinag-uusapan natin? Remember, there are more than one owners. Compared dun kay sole proprietorship, diba? Pag nandito, isa lang siya eh. Okay, isa lang siya. So, everything goes to him. Okay, lahat ng income accumulation niya pupunta kay owner's equity. Now, how about if it's a partnership? Okay, if it's a partnership na, what will happen is, kailangan malaman mo muna paano ba sila nagdi-distribute ng kanilang profit. Okay? Remember, pag nag-register ng business, pag nag-register si partnership kay Securities and Exchange Commission, kasama sa registration niya will be the articles of partnership. Now, the articles of partnership provides how the partners agree on how to distribute the income earned from the partnership. Take note na the articles of partnership is a legal document, meaning it is a legal contract. It is an agreement between the partners. So, kasama sa agreement na yon is, ano ba yung gagawin nilang business? Sino ba ang magiging manager? Sino ba ang magmamanage ng business? Now, important part nun is how they share in the profit and loss. Okay, how they share in the profit and loss. Now, para mas ma-demonstrate ko yan, let's look at an illustration. Okay, this is adapted from Fundamentals of Accountancy, Business and Management ni Mr. Salazar. Okay, that was published in 2017. Okay, now the DAF partnership was established in 2020. Sabihin natin 2020. The partners, Diana, Emina, and Fanny have January 1, 2021 balances. So 2021 tayo magsa-start ng reporting natin. So January 1 is the beginning balances. Ibig sabihin, ito yung nandoon sa iyong general ledger. Okay, so si Diana have 25,600, si Emina have 43,800, si Fanny meron siyang 37,655. So yan yung kanilang beginning balance. So let's look at the story. Sabi nga, lagi ko nga sinasabi sa inyo, di ba? Tingnan natin yung kwento, ano ba yung nangyari. So sabi dito, Diana contributed 15,000 during 2021. So, nagkaroon ka ng additional contribution si Diana, 15,000. Now, sabi ni Emina and si Fanny, nag-contribute sila ng additional 10,000 to the partnership amounting to 10,000 each. Okay, for the same year. Now, the year-end balance of each partner's drawings accounts are as follows. So, nagkaroon din sila ng drawing. Si Diana, 12,000, si Emina, 15,000, tapos si Fanny, 14,000 naman. Okay, now, the partnership reported net income of 75,650. Now, as I was telling you earlier, according to the partnership agreement, the partners' profit-sharing ratio is 30%, 40%, and 30%. Now, si Diana, 30% daw ang share niya dun sa 75,650. Si Emina, 40%. Okay? Now, 30% daw kay Fanny. So, sir, paano naman sila nag-arrive niyan? Okay, now, this is only one example. Marami pang pwedeng iterations yan kung paano sila mag-share ng income and losses. Pero, ito yung pinaka-basic. Siguro, mas maraming ginagawa si Emina, kaya 40% ang share niya. Now, some partnership will depend on how much was the contribution during the year. Okay? Tapos, depende rin yan kung ano pa ba yung iba nilang napag-agrihan. Okay, now, dito muna tayo sa pinaka-basic. Merong percentage lang ng share for each partner. Take note na, pag tinotal mo si 30%, si 40%, saka si 30%, this is 100%. So, hahatiin daw natin si 75,650. Okay, let's go to the next slide. Okay, now this is how you show a statement of changes in partners' equity naman ang pag-uusapan natin since this is a partnership. Okay, so you have DEF partnership, kung ano yung pangalan ng partnership as part of your header, yung usual natin. You have your statement name, statement of changes in partners' equity. And wag kakalimutan na you have to tell the users that this is for the year ended December 31, 2021. Okay. Now, dito, saan ba tayo magsa-start, sir? So, you look at the ledgers ulit. Okay. First, sinabi sa atin na meron daw silang beginning balances na 25,600, 43,800, and 37,655. Okay. Tabular form yung format na to. Okay. Or a table form. First, ipapakita mo muna kung how much yung simula nung mga partners natin. So, kung 10 sila, so 10 columns din meron tayo dyan. And then, the 11th column, papakita mo kung magkano yung total. Ay, papakita nga natin kung magkano yung total. Next, kung mapapansin nyo, katulad din siya ng sole proprietor. Kaya lang, 3 yung magiging owners. Okay, so according dun sa previous natin na slide, nagkaroon daw ng 15,000 contribution during the year si Diana and 10,000 each for Imina and Fanny. So tignan natin. So partners contribution, 15,000 kay Diana. Yes, that is an additional equity. 10,000 kay Imina and then an additional 10,000 for Fanny. Now, lumalabas yung total contribution nila for the year is 35,000. Okay. Puntahan na naman natin si share in net income. Okay. Sir, paano yung share in net income na yan? Okay. So, syempre, sinabi, 30% daw mapupunta kay Diana, 40% kay Imina, and 30% kay Fanny. So, paano ba nangyari yan? So, puntahan natin. Let's get your calculator para mas madali. Just a moment. Tingnan natin yung calculator natin. Okay? So, here's your calculator. So, paano ba yung nangyari dyan? 75,650. Okay? Multiplied by 30%. 22,695. Okay? Tapos, balikan natin. 75,650 multiplied by 40%. Share naman ni Emina. 30,260. Oh, kay Fanny, the remaining 30%, which is 75,650 multiplied by 30%. 22,695. Pag tinotal natin to, that is yung sinabi nilang 75,650. Okay? So, kung dun pa lang makikita nyo na kagad na based on their agreement, ang pinagbabasihan lang nila is the 30%, 40%, and 30%. If you go to higher accounting, pag nag-pursue kayo ng business course talaga, and BSA course, mas makikita nyo na mas marami pang paraan kung paano mag-distribute ng income at marami pang possible na agreement. Now, that should be in accordance kung ano yung law na pumapasok sa ating partnership or nag-govern sa ating partnership. Okay? Now, syempre, fairly self-explanatory si drawings account natin. Okay, si drawings account natin was stated dun sa ating initial na kwento coming from the illustration. Okay? There was a drawings na sinasabi 12,000 kay Diana, kay Emina 15,000, 8 kay Fanny 14,000. Okay? So, makukumpleto na natin ngayon yung ating statement of changes in equity. Now, don't forget to double underline sa total kasi that will show the users na yun na yung pinaka grand total natin. Now, that will be also your balance as of December 31, December 31, 2021. And then, the balance will be shown for each individual partner naman sa ating balance sheet. Okay, so, ganun yung magiging format natin. Now, to further explain ito lang yung slide to make sure na madali nyong balikan bakit ba nagkaroon ng sharing. So, minultiply lang natin yung total net income dun sa percentage ng share nila for the net income. Okay? So, yun lang to. Yun lang tong slide na to. Okay. So, we now go dun sa ating corporation. Okay? Now, it's a very old concept. Okay? Noong 1819, sabi ni Chief Justice John Marshall, for a corporation is an artificial being, invisible, intangible, and existing only in contemplation of law. Okay? Now, globally, lahat talaga, yaan na yung nagiging definition ng isang corporation. A corporation is a separate legal entity. Katulad din ng partnership. Okay? Corporation naman kasi, ganun din. Okay? Meron siyang characteristic ng isang business. It can go into contracts as a corporation. Okay? Para it's another artificial person or an artificial being. Okay, now, kasama din doon syempre, it is subject to the same duties and responsibilities as a person. It must abide by the law and it must pay taxes. Okay, so kasama yan. So, paano ba yung nangyayari dyan? Now, compared to a sole proprietorship of a partnership, a corporation's owner are called stockholders. Marami sila. Posible sila mag-number in thousands. Especially if it is a publicly traded company. Katulad nung example natin, when we started studying FABM. Okay, yung fundamentals of accountancy, business and management natin, 'di ba? I showed you the financial statements of Jollibee Food Corporation. 'Di ba? Ang dami nilang number of shares doon. So, kung each person have a share of Jollibee, so madami pwede, 'di ba? Now, sabi nga dito, because of the number of owners, if we maintain one capital account for each stockholder, we would end up with thousands of capital accounts. Okay. Sa partnership nga parang ang dami na, 'di ba? So tatlo pa lang yung example natin. Up to 10 medyo manageable siya. Up to 15 kaya pa siguro. Now, if it numbers to the hundreds or more, syempre ibang usapan na 'yan. Okay? Now, para mas malinaw, pakita ko muna sa inyo yung excerpt lang ito galing dun sa Jollibee Food Corporation. This was for the 2018 notes to financial statements. Take note, notes to financial statements na tinitignan natin. Hindi yung changes in equity. Okay? Kasi, since it's already a very big corporation, mas marami kayong numbers. Dun muna tayo sa simple. Ano ba yung pinapakita dito? Sinasabi dito na pwede daw mag-distribute ng 1,450,000 shares worth ang company ng shares. Okay? So, madami kang bilang na shares. Pero dito ang tutukan natin. Okay? Ang dami ng na-issue nilang shares. Okay? Lumalabas, there are how many? 3,023 and 3,042 shares as at December 31, 2018 saka December 2017. Okay? Now, para mas malinaw, iba ang account na ginagamit ng isang corporation. Okay? This is yung capital stock saka additional paid-in capital stock para sa capital contribution. Okay? Pag magko-contribute ka ng capital, you have capital stock saka additional capital stock. Di-discuss natin isa-isa yan, don't worry. So, ito yung sa sole prop saka yung sa partnership Kaya ako siya pinakita para may comparison tayo. Now, pag tinignan naman natin na wala siyang drawings account. Sir, paano yun? Paano naman yun kung walang drawings account yun? So, di-discuss natin siya later. Pero most of what is important is we know that the income accumulated by a corporation, hindi siya dinidiretso dito kay capital stock sa kay additional paid-in capital stock. Dito siya nilalagay kay retained earnings. So, hinihiwalay ang earnings ng isang corporation sa capital contribution ng owners. Now, the drawings for owners are usually through dividends. Okay, yun yung tatandaan. Through dividends that is paid to the shareholders. Okay, take note yun. Sulat nyo sa papel, dividends yung ginagamit. That is not kasi considered as drawings. Ang sinasabi kasi, kaya hindi siya nakalista dito, dividends are distribution of the owner's income. Okay, so nagbibigay ng income. Hindi basta-basta pwedeng hindi, bawa, pag owner ka, katulad sa sole prop, kumuha ka ng cash, that is drawings. Kumuha ka ng supplies, that is drawings. Pero that in this case. Okay? Not in a case of corporation. Tatandaan yon. Now, let's move forward. So, ano ba tong capital stock na to? Ano ba tong additional paid-in capital? Sa ano tong retained earnings? Now, paid-in capital muna yung pag-usapan natin. Dalawa yung paid-in capital. Now, the capital or the capital stock represents the par value of the common shares issued. Okay? Now, par value is the minimum amount that a corporation can issue its stock to shareholders. Minimum amount. So, pag pumunta ka sa SEC, sabihin mo, SEC, magtatayo ako ng corporation. Okay lang ba na magbenta ako ng 1 peso per share? magbebenta ako ng 1 million shares. So, anong ibig sabihin nun? Ibig sabihin nun, kung mabebenta mo siya ng 1 peso for each share, makaka-raise ka ng 1 million capital. Okay? So, ito yon, par value. Now, may mga bumibili or gustong maging owner na isang business na kasi maganda yung business, they are willing to pay more than the par value. So, kung more than 1 peso yan, sabihin nyo, gusto kong maging owner sa'yo, okay lang ba if I pay you 5 pesos for each share of stock? Uy, okay yun. Bakit nila gagawin yun? Kasi they believe that their investment in the company will grow. Okay, now that is for another discussion sa susunod na subject natin, which is yung business finance. Okay? So, ano yung kasunod natin dito? For additional paid-in capital naman, yun nga yung sinasabi natin. Sa example nito, the corporation's common stocks par value is 10. Okay? Now, sabi nung mag-i-invest sa kanila, I'm willing to pay 12 pesos. Okay? Now, the par value is still 10, pero yung 2 na excess is what you call the additional paid-in capital. Okay? That's your additional paid-in capital. Okay? Yun lang naman tatandaan eh. Tatandaan mo ano ba ang ibig sabihin ng par value. Pag naalala mo anong ibig sabihin ng par value na nire-record mo sa capital stock, you will be able to remember ano ba yung kay additional paid-in capital, di ba? Madali lang. Now, when we talk about retained earnings account reports the undistributed earnings of the corporation. Okay, now, the balance of the retained earnings comes from the net income or net loss. Okay, retained earnings mo madadagdagan pag may net income ka. Mababawasan siya pag may net loss ka. Now, mababawasan din yan if you distribute the earnings to your shareholders. Okay? So, yan yung ating dividends. Yun, kaya nabanggit ko sa inyo kanina. Kaya hindi ko siya minention dun sa kabila. Kasi, ano yung difference ulit? Now, let's go back dun sa previous slide natin. Capital contribution yung nasa taas. Now, drawings, ang meron lang si sole prop saka si partnership. Kasi nga, hindi naman pwedeng basta kumuha ng funds ang isang shareholder. They have to wait if the corporation will be able to distribute dividends. Kasi nga, dapat ang corporation, as much as possible, they retain their earnings for further future expansion, diba? Usually for future expansion and capital budgets. Okay. Kaya, pag pinapakita dito, dun sa next slide natin, nagkakaroon pa rin naman ng distribution. Sa Philippines kasi, well, most of the globally din kasi, you cannot improperly accumulate retained earnings. Okay? Ang retained earnings mo, hindi dapat mas malaki sa iyong total paid-in capital. Now, that is for another topic. I just mentioned that para matandaan ninyo na kailangan talaga mag-distribute tayo ng dividends. Okay? Now, dividends are the income of the corporation distributed to the stockholders. Okay? Now, let's move forward. So, syempre, para mas madali yung aral natin, meron tayong illustration. So, in-adapt ulit natin yung galing kay Mr. Salazar dun sa kanyang book. Okay? So, GHI Incorporated was established in 2020. Ayun ulit tayo, 2020. The corporation issued 10,000 shares, ibig sabihin yan, 10 peso par value stocks at an issue price of 20 pesos per share. Okay? Tapos, nung July 15 daw of the same year, nag-issue siya ng 1,000 new shares at the issue price of 25 per share. So, yun muna yung kwento ang pag-usapan natin. Okay? So, ano ba yung nangyari doon sa kwento na yun? Okay? So, lumalabas. Nung January 1 daw, nag-start yung business, nag-issue siya ng 10,000. Okay? Okay, doon ang galing yun eh. Ito yon nung nag-start yung business. 10,000 siyang shares of stock, 10 peso par value, pero 20 pesos niya nakita yung value. So, paano yung makikita? The 10 pesos is your capital stock because this is the par value. 10,000 multiplied by 10. Okay, now, the additional paid-in capital is the excess between the par value and the consideration received. So, 20 ang natanggap mo. So, minus 10, meron kang 10 na naiiwan. Okay? So, ito yung nangyari. Now, the retained earnings from the previous year, nga, lumalabas is 56,785. Okay? So, ito yung total mo. Now, this year, okay, ito yung last year mo nung nag-start yung business, 2020. Now, let's talk about kung ano yung nangyari nung 2021. Nung 2021, nung July 15, nag-issue ka ng 1,000 new shares at 25. Okay, so balikan natin to. 10 pesos yung par value multiplied by 1,000, yun yung capital stock natin. Okay? Now, dahil meron kang excess na 15 pesos na ibinayad sa'yo, okay, so 10 yung par value pero ang consideration received mo ay, tawag ko dito, 2021. So, anong ibig sabihin nun? Ay 25 pesos. So, ibig sabihin, nagkaroon ka ng excess. Okay, so 1,000 multiply by 15, so you get 15,000 pesos. Yung issuance ng additional stocks for the year. Now, sabi dito, nagkaroon daw ng earnings. Okay? So, net income nung 2020, saka nung 2021. So, na-note naman natin yon. Kaya nga yun yung beginning balance mo. Now, sinabi rin dun sa problem or dun sa illustration natin na walang dinistribute nung first year of operation nung 2020. Nagkaroon lang ng distribution ng dividends nung 2021. So, tignan mo, ang dividends is 2 pesos and 15 centavos per share. Okay? So, para malaman mo kung magkano yan, bilangin mo muna ilan yung shares of stock. Okay? The shares of stock was 10,000 initially. Tapos, nagkaroon ka ng additional 1,000 shares. So, 11,000 shares of stocks na ang nai-issue mo as a corporation. Okay? Kaya, yun yung amount ng dividend. So, to further illustrate, mas madali yan siguro pag pinakita natin. Initially nung December 2020, you prepared the following journal entries. You record the cash received, tapos you record the capital stock for the par value and the additional capital stock ay additional paid-in capital for the excess in the par value. Okay, so number of shares issued 10,000, par value is 10, so 100,000 pesos. Number of stocks issued, same pa din yan pa rin yung 10,000 na pinag-uusapan natin dito. Kaya lang, minultiply natin para sa ating excess. So, that's 100,000. So, total consideration received is 200,000. So, let's go back. Ito yung 200,000 na sinasabi natin. The additional capital stock, saka yung additional paid-in capital. Now, the retained earnings, ito yung earnings mo ng 2021. Now, in 2022 ay by the way, yung retained earnings mo, okay, para magkaroon ka ng retained earnings, you still go through the closing entries. Okay, so, you prepare the closing entries to close the nominal accounts to your retained earnings account. Okay? Katulad din siya ng sole proprietors saka ng partnership, 'di ba? Gagawin mo pa rin yung closing entries. However, for a corporation act, the net income or the net loss is close to the retained earnings, not to the common stock. Okay? Kasi nga, balikan natin, ang hinahabol natin parate is capital contribution lang ang papasok kay capital stock saka kay additional capital stock. Income accumulation or your earnings ang papasok kay retained earnings. Okay, so tuloy natin. Now, nung July 2021, nagkaroon ka ng additional issuance. So, additional issuance mo 25 pesos. Kuhanin mo muna yung par value para makuha mo yung capital stock. kuhanin mo yung excess amount in excess of par value para makuha mo yung additional paid in capital. Tapos i-record mo si cash amount. Okay? Now, for the last one, yung dividends natin, for dividends kasi, nire-record siya using the dividend account. Now, this is part of your retained earnings. So, gagamitin mo siya ng dividends to issue. Take note na ang total stock issued mo na as of December 31 is 11,000. Okay, 11,000 na siya. Now, dividend per share ang i-issue is 2.15 centavos. So, ibig sabihin, 23,650 of the earnings of the corporation are distributed back to the shareholders. Okay? Yun yung nangyari sa ating corporation. Okay? Hopefully, nagkaintindihan tayo sa ating lecture and I'll see you for our discussion dun sa susunod natin, which is statement of cash flow. Okay? So, thank you very much for listening and learning. Hopefully, I've shared a lot para mas maintindihan natin kung ano ba yung lecture natin. Thank you very much.